myself always returning to white woodslands.
Hey guys, welcome back. So I thought for today's video, I would basically do a little bit of an ebook haul. I have been reading a lot of physical books lately and stumbled across my Kindle when I was cleaning up and charged it back up, dusted it off, did all that. And when I powered it up, I totally remembered all of these books that I had downloaded recently or semi-recently, and I figured I would share. So, for the purpose of today's video, I'm just going to focus on the romance ones because about 90% of the ones that I have downloaded recently are romances, and I thought it would be fun to kind of theme this haul or whatever. So without further ado, let's dive into the books that I got. So, as for the books, they are a combination of books that I downloaded from Kindle Unlimited. There are quite a few that I actually bought when they were on sale. We can blame Bookstagram for this because I'm pretty sure I saw in someone's stories how they were on sale for like $2.99 or $3.99. And you know your girl had to just go ahead and one-click buy a bunch of them. And then I think the remainder are probably just ones that I stumbled across somehow and ended up buying because they were either free but not on Kindle Unlimited or very cheap. So yeah, I've got my list right here. I'm on the Kindle app on my phone, and I figure this would be more visually appealing for me just because it's in color and my Kindle is in black and white, and it's just not as visually aesthetic to go through all of the covers. So let's go ahead and go down the list. There's not any particular order. I guess we can kind of go from like oldest that I bought, but really these are all just semi-new to me reads. Before I dive in, as usual, please let me know if you've read any of these books, and if so, what you think about them. The majority of them are semi-new, not like completely new releases, but at the same time there's already been some buzz about it and the books still have traction. And then of course there's just some indie ones in here, and yeah, enough blabbering, let's dive in. So the first book that I got is called Your Dad Will Do by Katie Roberts. I actually started reading this one I want to say probably right after I downloaded it. It is, I believe, either free or very inexpensive, and this one is an erotic romance basically about a woman who hooks up with her ex-boyfriend's dad just to get back at him. I will be totally honest, I heard this recommendation from a couple of my romance reading girlfriends, and they said it was like all the smut that you need in your life. I've never read Katie Roberts, and if I'm recalling correctly, the little bit that I have started reading, it's pretty smutty. So if you like erotica and taboo romances, definitely check this one out. Okay, so next we have the Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, and this one I have been wanting to read for a long time. This one and The Bride Test. So I actually got both of them, and it was thanks to a recent ebook sale. I believe I got both of them for $2.99, which is a great deal. And for the Kiss Quotient, we have a story basically about a young Asian American woman who is diagnosed with Asperger's, and she's never had a full-on relationship with anyone in her life, and so she enlists the help of a guy who she knows who is supposed to be like an expert in all things love and sexy times and all of that, just to kind of show her the ropes. Well, needless to say, you know, feelings get developed, but this one is really interesting because of course we are seeing it from the perspective of someone with Asperger's who struggles with social interaction. And again, I've heard great things about the author and her book, so I'm really excited to read this one. I really need to stop putting my phone against the window because I'm sure you guys can hear the knocking. But I also mentioned that I got The Bride Test by the same author. If for some reason you don't know what this one is about, it's actually her first book, whereas the Kiss Quotient is the second one, kind of in a series. Personally, I don't know if they're related, but I don't think they're related. But anyway, in The Bride Test, basically what we have is a young man who has a form of autism whose parents I guess basically send for a bride for him from China. And so I believe we follow both him as well as a young woman who is from China, who is basically just trying to find a way to come to America to live a better life. And so it's about how they navigate their relationship. Again, this character also falls on the spectrum like the character with Asperger's in the Kiss Quotient. And so from what I've heard with the reviews, which again are excellent, the author does a really good job navigating through those trials and tribulations. And you know, everybody, it's just about love when it comes to the end of the day. So I'm really excited about that one as well. Next we have, oh, I totally forgot about this one, and I'm super excited because one, the cover is cute, and two, it references one of my favorite early 2000s romantic comedies, which is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So the name of the book is called Not the Girl You Marry, and it is dubbed as a millennial How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So we've basically got the same kind of general trope or setup as the movie, whereas we have a guy who I believe works at a magazine or something like that, and he is tired of writing fluff pieces, and so he instead is going to write an article about how to lose a girl or how to get a girl to break up with you. And as for his counterpart, we have a female who what does she do? I believe she is like a lawyer or some kind of high power position where in order for her to get a raise, she needs to be seen as like this family woman where she's in a stable relationship. So the two of them actually form a relationship and fake date for each of their benefits. But as we all know, that never really works out in terms of people splitting up at the end. So I'm excited about this. I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of cute moments. And again, I love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So even just to get just a hint of that really makes me excited. Next, we have the Matchmakers list. This was yet another one-click buy for me when it went on sale. Guys, I swear, I think I bought like 5 books just because whoever was on Bookstagram, and I wish I could remember who they were so that I can tag them in this video because they did damage to my wallet. Well, I guess not damage if they were only like $3 or $4, but regardless, I cleaned up. So The Matchmaker was one of the books that I got, and it is about a Indian, is she Indian American or just Indian? I don't remember, but basically it is about a young Indian woman who finally lets her grandmother hook her up, basically play matchmaker to find her a Indian boy to marry, and I guess just the antics that go on between that. I was really interested in it because of the matchmaking aspect. I always think it's interesting to have kind of like that blind date trope, and because this one obviously is like culturally grounded in the Indian culture, I'm really interested to see how the author describes all of that because I'd love to learn more about that and the ins and outs. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, but set against a romantic backdrop, I'm sure it's gonna be fabulous. Okay, so let's switch gears to something that is not contemporary, but in fact sci-fi. Yeah, sci-fi romance. This one, I believe it's still free on Kindle, not Kindle Unlimited, but just straight up $0. I could be mistaken, but at the time of this video, it was free. So this is called Toxic Desire, and oh man, I swear I get like 90% of my book recommendations from like BookTube or Bookstagram or my like romance book chat because I would have never otherwise found this book or heard about this book because it's definitely not something that I've ever read before. I don't think I've ever read a sci-fi romance, but there's a first time for everything, and hopefully this will be my first foray into it. But Toxic Desire is basically about, so it's set in the future in this like, I don't know how far ahead, but there's like spaceships and everything, and this woman crash lands on a sex planet. And I don't know the details about the sex planet, but basically she comes face to face or head to head with the guy who caused her to crash, who I don't know, I think he is a resident of the planet, but basically, as pissed off at him as she wants to be, she cannot help but just desire and want for him because of all of the pheromones and the planet and all of the sexy vibes that it's giving off. That's pretty much all I know about it, which I gotta be honest, was enough to make me download this book. So hopefully it lives up to my expectations. I'm kind of going into this not expecting a lot, but just kind of like a romp of a good time. So keep your eyes peeled for my wrap up. If I do read this, it could be corny, it could be funny, it could be my next favorite. I don't know, who knows? Beach read is gonna be hard to top, but you never know. Okay, so moving on, we have The Kingmaker. This one is on Kindle Unlimited, and it's by Kennedy Ryan, whose books I have heard so many good things about that I was talking to somebody and they're like, you have to read this book. So naturally, when I saw it was on KU, I went off and downloaded it, though knowing how influenced I am, even if it wasn't on KU, I probably would have downloaded it anyway. But this one is giving me a little bit of like Romeo and Juliet, Capulet versus Montague vibes. And by that, what I mean is we have a woman whose family basically is at odds with another family, and she blames the other family's dad for ruining her family and their reputation. So she ends up coming face to face with the son, who has separated from his family. He's trying to build up his own thing. It's a lot of like high-powered alpha vibes that I'm getting from this book, but the two of them obviously clash, but he is both trying to step from under the shadow of his family and his father, but he's also still holding on and harboring some secrets. So I'm sure that's going to come out in some kind of explosive way. I don't really know too much about the book, but again, I downloaded this one just because of the author's name. I've heard fabulous things about her, and I think oh my goodness, I don't remember if it was Jessica from Peace Love Books or maybe it was Lacey, but anyway, one of my romance-loving book friends actually had the author on their channel for like a Q&A or something like that, and yeah, it got me really excited, and so I immediately went off to download this one. All right, so next up we have He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not, which again, I got it on sale. I believe at this point, by the time the video comes out, it's still going to be free, $0, but again, not on KU. This one sounds like a cute, fun romantic comedy. Basically, it is about a sweet, buttoned up woman who never lives life outside of the lines, finally deciding to just throw caution to the wind. She goes to Vegas, has a wild night, wakes up the next morning married to a guy. Been there, done that, right? So the thing that is different about this one is that the guy actually insists that they stay married. More specifically, stay married for at least 6 months, and he says it'll be worth her time. I don't know what that means. She doesn't know what that means. So I'm interested to read this one to see what exactly could be so compelling to where he thinks that she would agree to stay married to him, because essentially he's a stranger. They only had this one night of hooking up, but intriguing nonetheless, right? So next up we have 1 Month Only. This one is also a Kindle Unlimited. I don't remember where I got the recommendation from, but I'll be honest with you guys. The last time I picked this one up, I actually was reading it on my phone while I was waiting in the doctor's reception area. And can I just take a moment to say thank God for the Kindle app on your phone, because I am literally never without a book. And this one is a novella. I am not done with it. I think I only got a couple of chapters in, but basically it is about a Italian woman. So this one is set in Italy, and it is about an Italian woman whose father basically is about to sell their company. She doesn't want that to happen, and so she enlists one of her childhood friends who has grown up to become like this successful CEO type, to help her save her father's company basically. And in exchange, obviously, he wants nothing more than to just be with her. And so you know, it's for selfish reasons, but also sweet reasons, because he's a real family man, which we come to read about, which I think is always sweet to see that those billionaire types have that soft side of them. But yeah, obviously she's going to agree because she does whatever it takes to help her family out, but in the process the two actually end up falling for each other and developing real feelings. So I think this one is sweet. Based on what I've read so far though, what I like about it is the change of scenery basically, because like I said, she's Italian, it's actually set in Italy, and so I'm hoping that beyond just a few chapters that I've read already, we see more of that just Italian culture, Italian background, any and everything that takes me outside of America, especially since my ass has to stay put because of quarantine. Okay, last up. So I actually just finished reading this one and I read it on my phone. So even though I just recently dusted my Kindle off, I read this one on my phone because I was looking for something to download, and when I realized it was a novella, I started reading like the first chapter and was hooked and ended up finishing the whole thing on my phone, which says a lot about the writing. So this one is called Me and Somebody's Son by Christina C. Jones. I wanted to call her by her Instagram handle because I just tagged her in something. But anyway, this one is super adorable. Basically, it is about a woman who works at a bookstore who runs into a guy who she knew in college who works around the corner from her at this florist shop. And it's always been her rule that it's one night only. She doesn't do dating, she doesn't do relationships, she only does hookups, which, side note, I really appreciated how she was fully in charge of her sexuality and she was not at all ashamed to just put it all out there and say that she was just interested in sex. That said, our hero is the complete opposite, where he wants a relationship. He's actually been pining for her since they were in college, and he wants to basically do whatever it takes to change her mind. But what I like about this is that he's not obnoxiously insistent. You know, a lot of times when the hero is persistent about chasing the heroine, it can come off as creepy or obnoxious because no means no, right? Well, in this case, he made it very blatantly clear after she expressed her desire to do nothing but just have meaningless sex that he was interested in a relationship and that he would wait for her, which, I mean, super sweet. But beyond that, I really love their banter. She definitely takes no shit from anybody. And then on top of that, he is described as a unicorn by her and her friends, which I think is absolutely hilarious. And what is a unicorn, you ask? Well, basically, it's like the perfect guy. He's sweet, he's charming, he's just cocky enough to make you think like, all right, I can definitely, you know, see what you've got going on. And then on top of that, he works at a florist shop, and with kids, and just basically every cliche under the sun, this guy has it, and he's obviously very handsome to boot. So I really enjoyed this one. It is actually by a Black romance author, so if you are looking for romances or novellas by Black authors, definitely check this one out. She has a slew of romances, and I think they might all be novellas actually, but if you like one, then you've got a whole backlist to binge, which I'm always here for when it comes to my romances. Okay, so I guess that'll about wrap it up. As you can see, I have downloaded quite a bit over the last, I want to say month and a half on my Kindle, though I totally forgot about it until literally just yesterday. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about all these books. So I've got plenty to read, though that's not going to stop me from ordering more books or veering away to new shiny books, because that's what us book lovers do. But like I said earlier, please let me know if you have read any of these and what your thoughts about them are. And if you have a Kindle, what have you downloaded recently? It doesn't have to be just romance. Again, I know in this video I talked about romances, but I read all genres. I actually have some cozies on here that I downloaded, but for the sake of keeping this limited to one genre, I didn't talk about them. Let me know in the comments though if you do want me to talk about the cozy mysteries that I have downloaded recently. That would be a video that I'd be more than happy to chat about, because you guys know I like chatting about books. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and happy reading. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!